At 99 years old, he is still dancing, not as a memory on screen, not in archival footage, but alive and moving in the present. Most of the world that shaped him has moved on, yet he remains, filling rooms with warmth simply by existing. Behind the smile that comforted millions, there lies a life marked by silence, struggle, and persistence. A childhood lacking visible affection, years of professional rejection, battles with addiction, and love lost. These shaped him quietly. Yet despite it all, he persists, proving that true resilience is often invisible, yet deeply powerful. A childhood of quiet distance. Born on December 13, 1925, in a small Missouri town, he grew up in West Plains, a place that seemed to stretch endlessly with little promise. His father, a traveling salesman, was often absent, while his mother held the household together with quiet, understated strength. His younger brother Jerry shared the home, functional but emotionally sparse. Praise and affection were limited, leaving him to navigate a childhood of wistful longing. There were no dramatic traumas, only the persistent hum of distance. The silence taught him early that attention could be earned through craft, not circumstance, planting seeds that would guide his life's work. Discovering the stage. From an early age, performance became his refuge. A mischievous face, a well-timed gesture, or an exaggerated stumble could close the emotional gap in his home. He wasn't performing for applause. He was performing to be seen. Hours were spent studying Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy, absorbing every pause, movement, and subtlety. Comedy became his architecture, precise, deliberate, and demanding patience. By age 11, he was thinking like a craftsman, shaping instinct and timing into a language all his own. Even as the world seemed indifferent, he understood that laughter could illuminate presence in a way the ordinary world often could not. War and early lessons. At 18, the Second World War redirected his path. Drafted into the United States Army Air Forces in 1944, he initially hoped to become a pilot but was grounded for being underweight. Instead, he served as a radio operator and staff sergeant, entertaining troops through the American Forces Network. He was not on the front lines, but the lessons were profound. He realized that performance was not frivolous. Laughter could sustain hope and oxygenate fear. Returning home in 1946, he had no money, connections, or formal training, only an unshakable certainty that the stage was his home, regardless of the world's readiness to agree. The long struggle. The late 1940s and early 1950s were years of relentless effort and rejection. Radio announcing jobs in Atlanta ended quickly, and small comedy acts like the Mary Mutes found fleeting audiences and meager pay. He moved constantly, New Orleans, Los Angeles, and back, chasing opportunities that rarely materialized. Each city offered polite refusals dressed differently. Not yet. Try again later, maybe somewhere else. Sleep came in cheap motels, meals were modest, and validation was scarce. Yet the early struggle reinforced his craft. It taught him patience, humility, and the quiet art of persistence, honing skills that would eventually make him indispensable to generations seeking joy. Thus, a masks of joy. Even as he became a household presence, the world rarely saw the private cost. Behind the charm, laughter, and warmth, there was a man wrestling with addiction, failure, and heartache. His performances were not mere entertainment. They were shields, delicate constructions protecting a fragile interior. Personal relationships strained under these pressures. A 36-year marriage eventually ended. His life reflected a paradox, the ability to radiate joy while quietly losing himself. Yet, he recognized that imperfection was human, and that acknowledgement of flaws rather than denial created authentic connection. Audiences recognized not perfection, but presence, and presence became his gift. rebuilding, and rediscovery. By his 80s, he had faced nearly every setback the industry and life could impose. Yet he rebuilt, piece by piece, embracing both failure and triumph as integral to his story. Later in life, he found something long missing, a sense of fulfillment that had eluded him for decades. This was not merely career recognition or fame, but a deeper personal alignment. He discovered that resilience is a practice, not a destination. To continue performing, creating, and living fully, even at advanced age, requires conscious daily commitment, a willingness to face the quiet distance and persist in spite of it. The architecture of comedy. Comedy for him was never accidental. Every gesture, pause, and expression was deliberate. Studying masters like Laurel and Hardy, he understood that timing is sacred and instinct must be trained. He built laughter like an architect builds a structure, with careful planning, patience, and a willingness to adjust. Audiences may see only the result, the laughter and warmth, but the foundation is intricate, precise, and forged in solitude. This approach carried him from small clubs to national fame, but the lessons remained consistent. Discipline, attention, and empathy were as essential as talent. Performance was both craft and salvation. Lessons from a life lived fully. He rarely frames life in terms of lessons. Instead, he offers observations. Joy is not a reward. It is a practice. It requires imperfect, daily effort, sometimes exhausting, often unheralded. The pursuit is less about recognition than about presence, less about applause than about illumination. At 99, with a lifetime behind him and the ocean outside his window, he embodies this truth. Every step, gesture, and smile reflects decades of experience, resilience, and deliberate creation. Audiences feel warmth not because life was easy, but because he chose to keep giving himself fully, despite setbacks and the inevitable wear of time. Conclusion. Persistence as performance. At 99, he still dances. He still makes rooms warmer simply by entering them. His life is a testament to the quiet, persistent work of creating joy, facing struggle, and rebuilding when broken. The world may see a smiling entertainer, but behind it lies decades of craft, resilience, and self-discovery. He demonstrates that performance is not limited to stages. It is a commitment to presence, attention, and humanity. In every gesture, laugh, and thoughtful pause, he teaches that to persist, to continue, and to exist fully is the most eloquent performance of all.